Attention. Go!
2016 lightweight men's boat race. The 16 athletes fly up the seats. Really powerful fast start. A little bit of a splashy stroke there from Oxford as Cambridge squeeze in to a narrow lead, just as we witnessed in the women's race just a short time ago. And Cambridge really now have the bit between their teeth and already have half a length advantage after that incredibly fast start. Cambridge now powering away through these lumpy conditions, driving the stroke into the water. 41 strokes a minute I've got for Cambridge against Oxford at the comparatively low rate of 38. Now they certainly won't be able to maintain that sort of stroke through the majority of the race, but they'll want to eke out an advantage for Cambridge before they settle into their race pace, and already they've gone almost one boat length lead. Oh, that's a fantastic result from Cambridge, who are looking to eke out, further establish a clear advantage after that 4-foot verdict we saw in last year's race. 3 of the winning athletes on that occasion have come back to provide the spearhead into the light blue challenge, and it certainly appears to be reaping dividends at the moment, because they now already have a clear water lead at the bottom end of the enclosure. And Oxford now left with it all to do. Oxford, nice tidy blade work, but the power is not quite there, and also neither is the length in the water. The length of the Cambridge stroke in the water is noticeably that little bit longer, squeezing out of the finishes, which is an essential feature in these headwind conditions, as I mentioned earlier, to maintain the momentum so that there's no slowing of the boat on the recovery before the crew takes the next stroke. And while I've been describing the position, in fact, Cambridge have just charged further onward, and already Oxford looking a little bit despondent. Their Cox is really going to have to work the psychology. Joanna Brown really going to have to lift that crew to really bind them all together and to try and come back on this substantial lead. As the 2 crews now pass in front of the Oxford supporters at Upper Thames, it's still Cambridge by almost 2 boat lengths clear of the opposition now, and we still have yet to reach the halfway mark. The umpire untroubled by the steering on this particular occasion. It's been a busy afternoon for Dave Hancock with steering difficulties, particularly in the lightweight women's reserve pairs, but clear margin between the crews now, and it's Cambridge who are forging their way down towards the halfway marker at Forley. Strokes by Giovanni Bergamo Andreis, the non-rowing president from last year. He was ruled out, I think it was an injury that forced his non-participation, but certainly back in with a vengeance, and it is he who is setting the rate for his crew, who are responding magnificently to his call, and they are just so together. That's a very well-drilled unit, and they are going over the course at 36 strokes a minute. High rates of striking, very much a feature of lightweight men's racing at whatever level, whether it's international, whether it's here at the Henley boat races, and it certainly is, always marks out the fastest coverage of the course. We're looking for not the record time by any means in these headwinds, but it will be the fastest time of the afternoon. We are well clear past the Forley marker now, and it's Cambridge by 2.5 lengths plus, I would say, and Oxford, although they've got their cohesion back, the power is just lacking against that fantastic performance from Cambridge. Oxford now really going to have to put in something very special indeed over the second half of the course. They haven't changed the rate, but they've begun to push out those finishes. The longer stroke in the water, that's what's needed to try and come back on this cracking pace that's been set by the light blues. Alec Trigger there in the 4-seat for Oxford, the only returning athlete from last year's losing lineup, come back in with a vengeance to try and reverse the verdict on that occasion, but it doesn't look as though his efforts are going to bear fruit here, because such is the lead for Cambridge as we come within sight of the Temple Island meadow that, barring a disaster, it surely must be Cambridge that prevail on this occasion. And any minute now, that northeasterly breeze that has just been such a feature of the afternoon here on Henley Reach, Cambridge are going to reach the shelter of the Temple of the Island, and the river is going to even out, and then they can really make the best of it, and who knows, even perhaps increase that margin. Well, Oxford have begun to wind it up now. Joanna Brown has really rallied them. They've upped the rate and are trying desperately hard to narrow this margin. But I fear it's a case of too little too late, because the Cambridge bound man is almost within 200 metres of the finish here in this final race of the afternoon here at the Henley Boat Races 2016. It's been a startling performance from Cambridge. I know they were looking to increase that tight margin that they won by just 4 feet last year. They've done it in style. They went out into an early lead, and there was really no stopping them after they settled into their race pace. It's just over 6 minutes they've taken, 6 minutes 10 now, and the last couple of seconds until their bow ball crosses the line. The flag is prepared. There it goes, to indicate that Cambridge have crossed the line several lengths ahead of Oxford on this occasion. The Oxford heads already dropped in despair in the dark blue boat. The flag is dropped now to indicate that the bow ball for the losing crew has crossed the line. And we'll just wait a minute or so for the